Hello everyone. Sorry that it's been a long time since we had one episode. You know, things happen, life happens. From life happens, I think we can discuss something quite interesting and light in this episode. So, one thing that people many times think is at what point one should start reading scriptures, spiritual things, or even religious things. You ask this thing to some religious minded people, they would mostly say that, yeah, you should start like whenever, like, as soon as possible. The moment you can start reading and writing, you should start reading scriptures and spiritual things. So, Hinduism has got a very interesting take on this thing. So, you know, Upanishads are the set of texts and scriptures in Hinduism which are quite fundamental, be it that or even Brahma Sutra. They all start with this interesting phrase called Athatu. So, for example, if it is Brahma Sutra, it will start like Athatu Brahma Sutra. So, Athatu basically translates to now. So, when somebody says, okay, now let us discuss Brahma Sutra, you would immediately ask, like, okay, what was before, right? Because now is a kind of continuation. So something has happened before and now it will start doing something else. So this basically means that when you are at certain stage in your life, that is when you should start delving into spiritual things or scriptures. So that athatu, that now point, has to come in your life, and that is even more clarified in Bhagavad Gita, the scripture where Sri Krishna talks about different spiritual dilemmas, and he explains this thing to his friend and disciple Arjuna. So, the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called Arjuna Visada Yoga, which basically describes how this big war is about to start, and Arjuna, who is a warrior, he asks Krishna to take his chariot to the middle of the battleground. Then Arjuna looks at around and he only sees his friends and families, and that makes him very, very, very sad. And somebody who is like Arjuna, he has been described as one of the most valorous, like most of the brave persons. His hands start shaking, his weapons start dropping, he gets goosebumps, and he kind of gets an anxiety attack. So, till that point, Arjuna has lived his life, and Krishna has been a friend of Arjuna since day one. Never ever had Krishna told him about spiritual things. At that point, when a brave warrior like Arjuna, he starts getting goosebumps, his hands shake in the middle of the battleground, that is when he is ready to accept spiritual knowledge. Similarly, that Visada Yoga, that jolt, that shaking has to happen in one's life before one is ready to accept the spiritual knowledge. Till that point, one can read, one can rot, one can mug things, but that's again, it's not of real use to one because one is not ready. That point of Athatu has not happened. And a very interesting story comes from Upanishads that this sage was there who was doing penance in forest. He observed that there is a tree which is full of parrots, and a hunter would come once a while. He would put a net, and the parrots will get caught. And the sage was very sad about that. He thought that, okay, I will train these parrots not to fall into the trap. So he takes one or two parrots to his hut and he starts training them. So he trains them very well. After some time, the parrots were released to the forest and they go back to the tree. And the hermit has taught them this phrase that Vyadham agachati duram apsara, which in Sanskrit means that the hunter is coming, don't go near that. And the hermit was very happy. The next day he goes to see, okay, what has happened, and he sees that the parrots which who he has trained, they are still, they have got trapped in the net, and trapped in the net they are uttering the same thing. that the hunter is coming, go away, go away. So it basically means that you can learn scriptures just like a parrot, but not really going to help you in solving the life's problems. It will not help you to escape from the net of sorrow and stress. So yeah, so let us hope that we get to the point of Athatu in our lives, so that we can start the journey of spiritualism. We can start understanding the real meaning of the scriptures. Thank you very much.